Okay, hi everyone. This is the fourth lesson for today. So if you can just head up your book with today's date, science, and it's also catch up for any work that you didn't get completed on Monday. Now, science is about mouldy bread. We nearly started it last week, but we got into Hass. Now, this is not a lot of activities that you need to do. This is mainly setting you up for your experiment at home. So there's a couple of videos that are really good to watch and just to let you know how to go about your experiment. I'm going to post some really good YouTubes that talk about mold in bread and how yeast can help turn flour into bread, and I'll do that tomorrow. But for now, let's concentrate on the mold aspect. So everything that I'm showing you now is going to be in Teams under Science Resources. So there's some environmental factors that affect mold, and this slide that I'm showing you now, you can go through yourself. I mean, I'm not going to bore you to tears by showing you these slides and then reading them to you. I want you to go through and have a bit of a look at these yourself and some photos that people have taken of the different types of mold and how they talk about how mold can be good and bad, how it can be a toxic substance that can make you quite sick, to how it is good for you and can help some things grow. So the experiment that you're going to do, it talks about that a little bit. It says 5 slices of bread. You can do 5 if you want, but you only need to do 3. And you also need some Ziploc bags. That's really important because once you put them in there, you don't want to be opening it up and taking it out. You just want to leave it in there and not open it again and then throw it away when you're done. It also talks about putting a grid on your Ziploc bag, and I'll talk about that and how to do it. So have a read through there. You'll get some ideas on how to do it. And you can do as many of those as you want to do. So that'll be on Teams, and I'll put that up. 2 quick little videos that I want to show you that talks about mold.
Of all the many safety concerns in the workplace, mold is probably not high on anyone's list. But the more we learn about the effects of mold, the more we should be concerned. Mold spores are everywhere. All they need is water and a source of food to grow. Materials like cardboard, paper, and wood are a perfect food source. If they get wet, mold will quickly grow and spread. Mold spores germinate and grow into a thick mat of filaments. Within a few days, spore-producing structures grow from the filaments and begin discharging spores. Hundreds of millions of mold spores can be released into the surrounding air. If you inhale mold spores, your health can be affected. People with allergies, asthma, or a weak immune system are at an even greater risk. For information on how to protect yourself and your workplace from mold, visit WorksafeBC.com.
All right, that's more of an American ad, but it's just been put on there to show you the bad mold and how it spreads through carbon.
Hi, I'm Ray Lombardi, here with your mold fact of the day. Today's fact is this: not all mold is bad. In fact, some mold is very good. The best example of a good mold would be penicillin. Penicillin was discovered by Scottish scientist Alexander Fleming in 1928. His discovery demonstrated that penicillin had antibiotic properties, which really initiated the era of antibiotic discovery. Penicillin is derived from several species of the penicillium fungi, including penicillin G, procaine penicillin, benzathine penicillin, and penicillin V. While penicillin is one of the more notable good molds, there are other molds that are used in many common domestic applications. For example, yeast is used for fermentation and also in the making of bread. Mold has been used to age cheeses and improve the texture of wine. Keep in mind that mold is the ultimate recycling machine. Without mold, dead things, such as animals and plants, could not or would not decompose as quickly as they do. Mold assists in the process of converting dead organic matter back to basic organic nutrients. For more information on mold, air testing, and other issues related to your health.
Okay, so that's just an introduction today. The other thing I want to very quickly show you is how to set up that experiment so you can do that from home today. And then tomorrow I'm going to show you some much more interesting videos that will talk about how mold is used with bread making, and I can give you a little experiment with that. So what I want you to do is get 3 slices of bread, and if you haven't got this at home today, don't worry about it. Just do it when you can. Now you need 3 slices. Cut the crusts off, and I've drawn a grid over here, but what I want you to do before you put them inside the bag is just draw the grid on the bag. 1 centimetre by 1 centimetre lines, just draw up a grid. And the reason why you do this is because when you talk about your observation, you can say the bottom row of grids show a growth of mold that goes 3 grids up and 2 grids down. You can use that to help describe it. So do that on 3 plastic bags, label them 1, 2, and 3. I've just got this here as an example. You can print this out if you want, or do up your sheets in your book like this. Then draw your grids on. Now, pop your pieces of bread into the bags. What I would like you to do is, in the first bag, I want you to put a couple of drops of water onto the bread, because remember they talked about in the video about a moist environment is ideal. So just put a couple of drops of water in number 1 and seal the bag up. Don't open it again when you look at it. There's no need to open the bag up again. And for safety reasons, we're told to tell you not to open that bag up again. Seal it up, a couple of drops of water in, and put this one on top of the fridge. So write that down in your book on your notes there. The second one, don't put any water in it. Put the bread in, seal it up, and put that on your bench top somewhere. Make sure you're putting these somewhere where little brothers and sisters or family members can't get it, and dogs and pets and things like that. And in the third one, don't put any water in it. Seal it up and pop that inside the fridge where it's nice and cool, and just leave it in there. Now, if you want to do a 4th and a 5th one, you can do that. On the actual assessment, there's only room for 3, but you can do another one. I heard some kids were getting a piece of bread, rubbing it on the ground where they walk, and then putting it in the bag to try and get some germs on there first. You can do that just as another type of test you can do. Some other people were getting some really awful grubby surfaces and rubbing it on that and then putting it in the bag. You can do that as well. Make sure you label it, and in your notebook just write down 1 had water and is on top of the fridge, 2 had no water and is in the bench, 3 was in the fridge with no water, and 4, if you rub it on the ground in the bathroom or whatever and then put it in the bag, make a note of that as well. And take photos of that once a week, and just keep a record of how it's going. Now, tomorrow I'm going to put some other YouTubes up that are going to have way more information about mold and other interesting ideas about it. Use the rest of the day to catch up with any activities you didn't do yesterday. For example, catch up with all your spelling. Do the other 3 sets of maths mentors that I put up. Don't forget to leave me a comment and say if you want me to continue to put both sets up as well as the minute maths. Do your HAS from yesterday, where you had to look at the 6 slides and just talk about similarities and differences. And please make sure you've read and answered question and done the vocabulary for Chapter 27, Magnus Chase. Don't fall behind in that, because when we go back, we could be quite a few chapters ahead. All right, that's it for today. Hope that all makes sense. Well done, and I'll see you tomorrow. Keep working. Bye.